Will the guests please rise for the arrival of the official party, parading of colors, the national anthem, and please remain standing for the invocation. Post it. Post the side boys. Sound 4 bells. Commander, Judge Advocate General for United States Navy, retired, arriving. Sound 4 bells. Captain, Medical Corps, United States Navy, arriving. Sound 6 bells. Naval Medical Forces Atlantic, arriving. Sound 6 bells. Naval Surface Force Atlantic, arriving. Parade the colors.
Colors. Attention. Forward. March. March time. March. Color. Halt. Reset. Arms.
Retire the colors.
Shoulders. Arms. Ready. Two. March time. March.
Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Lee's son, Mr. Kevin Lee, Society of Jesus, will now deliver the invocation.
Today. Here we go. So let's take a moment to rest, to gather on this beautiful Virginia day. Remember that we are, as always, in God's presence. Good and loving God, we've gathered here together to celebrate Captain Rees, who is your gift to his family, to his country, to the U.S. Navy. Thank you for almost 35 years of committed service of Captain Rees, during which he healed many of your children through his work as a doctor, through his work as an officer, but many more to make sure the U.S. Navy was medically prepared. He gave them compassion, care, and courage, which allowed him to be a lighthouse for many, guiding them in their work. You gave him a big heart, a heart that is big enough to love his family, but also big enough to make the U.S. Navy his family as well. And for this, we thank you. God, we now ask you to come and be with us. Be with us as we celebrate Captain Lee. Come and celebrate with us, and grant us the grace to learn from his honor, courage, and commitment as he served our nation and as he worked for your greater glory. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Good morning. My name is Commander Carrie Hudson, and I am honored to serve as your Master of Ceremonies for today's ceremony. On behalf of the Commander, Naval Surface Force Atlantic, and Commander, Naval Medical Forces Atlantic, I welcome all of you to this special occasion, marking the retirement of Captain Rees Chip Lee, Medical Corps, United States Navy. We are gathered here to witness Captain Lee's very full and productive military career, spanning almost 35 years. We are also gathered to say thanks to a good shipmate. Thanks for his many contributions, which in their own unique way have made our Navy a stronger and more capable force in our never-ending fight for peace in this sometimes troubled world. Thanks for his many dedicated hours and personal initiative that have helped to make surfland and Navy medicine the proud professional organizations that they are today. Thanks for being the type of leader that has ensured that our ships were ready to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Our gathering today also gives us the opportunity to wish him every success in the future as he looks forward to new challenges and rewards. I extend an especially warm welcome to Captain Lee's wife, Sally, sons Jimmy and Kevin, and his brother, Commander David Lee, his niece Katie, and his future daughter-in-law Kiki. Participating virtually are his mother, Mrs. Marjorie Lee, and parents-in-law, Dr. Paul Schnurr and Mrs. Barbara Schnurr. I know that you are vividly aware of the sacrifices that Captain Lee and Sally have made in the service of our country. I speak for the entire staff when I say how pleased we are to have all of you here today. Ladies and gentlemen, our presiding officer for today's ceremony, Rear Admiral Darren Vai, Commander, Naval Medical Forces, Atlantic.
How about jumping off? That's all it was. All right. Well, before I begin, as usual, I really want to thank the Fleet Forces Band and the NMRTC Portsmouth Color Guard for that wonderful rendition of our national anthem and the display of colors. Please join me in a round of applause. for Admiral and Mrs. Stocks, although I think I'm only seeing part of the team today. A tandem that's been at just about every change of command over the last few weeks, which again shows the legacy. Master Chief O'Rourke, Fleet Master Chief O'Rourke, Force Master Chief Nutt, distinguished guests, thank you for joining us here today. And if I am correct, we also have Vice Admiral Mudston and Rear Admiral Putnam, along with a number of family members and friends watching online. Thank you for joining us here today for this special moment. I wish those online could be here with us at Vista Point, despite the fact that we're wearing masks as we re-enter our peak with our Delta variant and COVID. Obviously, we have a beautiful venue here to recognize Chip's retirement and all that he's done in the service of his nation and his Navy. It's a place that's obviously very fitting to hold such an event. Before we honor Chip, though, what I'd like to do is take an opportunity to recognize his family members and the sacrifices that they made throughout his career to make sure that he could be here. Sally, thank you for being here with us today. Celebrate your husband's noteworthy career. You've been married to Chip for 34 years, so you've been with him since the very start of this journey. Your support, encouragement, loyal devotion as a spouse and mother has been critical to Chip's successful career. We know it's difficult and lonely at times. We'd like to thank you for your service to our nation and thank you for the sacrifices you made as we honor Chip. Jimmy and Kiki, thank you for your flying in from Seattle to be here. Kevin, it's also a pleasure to have you join us for your move to LA to New York. Your father is very proud of the career choices that both of you made. Jimmy, a scientist working with Google. Kevin, entering the third year of a 9-year path to become a priest studying at Fordham. While you're here to share the pride in your father's distinguished career, I know you will hear his emotional tribute to great successes that have led to his success and his pride in all that you have done. Thank you, as I said, to Sally for the sacrifices that you've made. I'm sure there were events that you wish that Chip could be at that he may have missed. And I know today is a day where you will receive him back into the family for all of those opportunities. Retired Commander David Lee and Katie, thank you for flying down from Newport, Rhode Island. I'm sure it wasn't too bad, a little bit of a delay. Flying is definitely challenging. Thank you for being here. I know your brother, the speech said excited to hear you, but the more I'm learning, he may be a little more concerned hearing from you as the guest speaker. But I want to recognize you and your entire family and those watching for supporting Chip throughout his career. Turning our attention back to Chip, one way to end a 35-year career. First commissioned in 1986, an ensign served as a communications officer and navigation officer on board the USS Goldsboro, DDG in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. From there, you became a training readiness officer, Destroyer Squadron 35. I guess those tours weren't too rigorous because you thought you'd take on another challenge. You decided to actually go to medical school at that small little school out west called Stanford. Coming back to the Navy in 91, you completed a pediatrics residency at Naval Medical Center Portsmouth and a pulmonary fellowship at the University of Colorado. From there, you served your nation annual patients with tours at Naval Hospital, Oak Harbor, Naval Medical Center Portsmouth, where you were an icon of the pediatric community, delivering unparalleled patient and family-centered care, investing valuable time in multi-center advanced clinical trials, and developing tomorrow's physician leaders through your clinical leadership and your engagement in our residency training program. You went on to serve as the executive officer both on the Comfort and in Navy Medical Research Unit Dayton, and also you had a CO tour at Amber Dayton. Operationally, you served as the SMO, Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Operation Continuing Promise, served with boots on ground, as we discussed, as a senior medical officer at NATO Role 3 in Kandahar, Afghanistan. But now we transition to what you've done lately. Well, that's a storied career. You've had no shortage of opportunities in your time at Surfland to excel. You know, to say that these past 2 years have been a challenge to our Navy, to our nation, and to military medicine would be an understatement. As the world began to face the coronavirus 2019 pandemic, you know, we were focused on readiness, and that focus was put to the test. Fleet One Navy Medicine can't thank you enough for the many late nights and weekends that you spent developing policies, reporting real-time data, testing thousands of sailors, and ensuring excellent care for those who became infected. You set a vision for unparalleled excellence, leading 73 medical officers, more than 200 foremen across 77 ships, 4 fleet surgical teams, 4 medical readiness divisions, home ports in Norfolk, Mayport, Rhoda, and Bahrain, all while ensuring the ready force and the 27,000 fleet sailors were medically able to do their job. Through the pandemic, you provided military leaders with policy and guidance to make informed risk decisions to protect the warfighters and to ensure that our forward deployed forces of the Atlantic Fleet were safe and on the job. While tackling the pandemic, you also focused on issues that cause the greatest risk of force preservation, resilience. You worked across the fleet and medical lines to establish new capabilities with behavioral health techs deploying on cruise ships, and you expanded the waterfront and mental health capabilities and capacities. But that's not all. You also led fleet surgeons across TICOMs and numbered fleets in continuing to develop and setting the standard for readiness training and certification processes that integrated into the fleet OFRP and ensured medical systems can be prepared, if not more prepared, as all shipboard systems. Because while it's sometimes used as a cliche, if we don't do our job, people really do die. Chip, you represent what every Navy position should strive to be. And for that, I can simply say, thank you and well done. Your commander and co-workers at Naval Surface Forces Atlantic thanks you. The United States Navy thanks you. Every U.S. sailor and Marine thanks you. And finally, your nation thanks you. Your extraordinary 35-year career has come to a close with the pinnacle being an impeccable response to a pandemic with a magnitude the world has never seen in over 100 years. You've worked hard and tirelessly throughout this pandemic. I know you, Sally, and the children are looking forward to the new chapter of your life in Tucson. Whether you choose to continue building tomorrow's future as a clinical professor of pediatric pulmonology at the University of Arizona, or you simply decide that it's time to hang up that chapter in your life and enjoy kayaking on the rivers that flow through Tucson. I know you enjoy spending more time with the family and appreciate the wonders of life that's around us. Chip, Bravo Zulu, fair winds and following seas, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Admiral Lai. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest speaker is Commander David Lee, JAG Corps, United States Navy. Commander Lee has worked at the Defense Institute of International Legal Studies since his retirement from the Navy in June 2020. In his current position, he develops, plans, and executes projects to build the maritime legal capacity of U.S. partner nations and is an internationally recognized subject matter expert on maritime international law. Commander Lee was commissioned as a line officer in 1988. He received his Surface Warfare Officer qualification while assigned to USS Coronado, AGF 11. During his follow-on tour as company commander and legal officer at CD Battalion 40, he deployed to Mogadishu, Somalia, in support of Operation Restore Hope. In May 1997, he graduated from the University of Notre Dame Law School and was recommissioned as a judge advocate. Reporting to Norfolk, Virginia, he served in a variety of positions, including defense counsel at Naval Legal Service Office, Mid-Atlantic, assistant staff judge advocate to commander, Navy Region Mid-Atlantic, and staff judge advocate of Naval Amphibious Base Little Creek. In June 2003, he reported as the staff judge advocate for Expeditionary Strike Group 5, wherein he deployed on USS Bonhomme Richard. He provided legal support for tsunami relief operations off the coast of Indonesia before transiting to support Operation Iraqi Freedom. From January 2007 to May 2010, he served as the Civil Law Department head at the Naval Justice School in Newport, Rhode Island, where he also worked as the editor-in-chief of the Naval Law Review. While there, he deployed with the 2nd Marine Expeditionary Force to Al-Anbar Province, Iraq, earning his Fleet Marine Force qualification. On his return, Commander Lee was selected by the President of the United States Naval War College to serve as his staff judge advocate. Commander Lee developed an expertise in international maritime law while serving as the Navy's international law attorney in Naples, Italy, including assignments on the staff of U.S. Naval Forces Europe, U.S. Naval Forces Africa, and Commander 6th Fleet. He culminated his 28-year Navy career by returning to the Naval War College as a professor at the Stockton Center of International Law. Captain Lee would also like me to add that while Commander Lee may be better looking, Mom likes Captain Lee more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Commander David Lee.
Great question, and actually take off my mask to show you how handsome I am and humble. Just to pause a moment. This is amazing. How many times does your brother say, "Hey, here's a microphone. You get to be in front of some of my best friends, some of my best professional colleagues. Say whatever you want about it." So I am really excited about this. And I almost didn't come though, because my brother's first question after he invited me to come down here was, "Do you still fit in your uniform?" I'm like, really? I've been retired for a year and I don't fit in my uniform? Yes. You know, in my bio, you read it there. It says I'm an avid bicyclist, runner, and swimmer. It's like, so yes, I can still fit. So anyway, I'm here to say thank you to the two communities that have really struggled and put up with my brother. So I want to say thank you to the SWO community. He started out as a SWO, it's very fitting. He's ending his career as SWO command, kind of circle. It's been a struggle for all of us. My brother is he's rash. If I describe my brother, he's the black sheep of the family. He makes decisions just on a whim. It's hard. You know, I know you put the soundproof walls around his office because he keeps yelling at people. It's just, that's the type of guy he is. And it's just been, it's important that I want to express my thanks to both the SWO and the medical community for putting up with 35 years of CHIP. And so what we've done in our family, just so you know, I had a great career as a SWO. Going, it was awesome. I was doing great. And then my mom said, "Dave, I think CHIP is going to need legal advice at some point." I said, "Yes, Mom. What do you want me to do? I think you need to go to law school, and then I think you need to become a JAG because I don't think CHIP's leaving the Navy. So I think he's going to need legal help." So I said, whenever your mom asks you to do something, I said, "Yes, Mom, absolutely." So I went to law school. And that's why I'm a JAG today. To help my brother. And in fact, our entire family, we have division of labor. So Sally's a saint. Sally is a saint. She's put up with my brother for day in and day out, and she looks forward to the deployments, by the way. The laundry loads get smaller, food bills get smaller, Chip's out doing stuff, serving his country. Sally's a saint. Jim is a scientist. In case we need any help with Google and any scientific, technical, we have Jim. Kiki demonstrates she's a Navy veteran herself. So now Chip can look to Kiki. This is what it means for honor, courage, and commitment for a Navy veteran to hold herself up with dignity and respect. Thank you, Kiki, for doing that. Showing my brother how to do that. My beautiful daughter, she's going to become an environmental planner at the University of California at Davis. Just because Chip, he throws litter everywhere. And so I need my daughter to do that. And my wife's actually a pharmacist. If he needs more medical help, I don't know if he does. He claims he's a doctor, but you never know. And so we have this division of labor because Chip's needed it. And so I want to say thanks, and I will buy it. I want to say thank you to you as well for signing that convening order to convene this board of inquiry. Administrative separation from the United States Navy. This is a very special board. You are all members. Congratulations. And you get to vote. Is it right for Chip to continue his service in the United States Navy? I think so. So it's been fun, but unfortunately, I do have some things. Normally, you get out. Most of us are going to get out with an honorable discharge, but there's some certain things that Chip has done over the course of his life that calls into questions. It might be unbecoming. Unbecoming at something. I don't know what. Maybe an officer, maybe not. But for instance, when he was a kid, the rumors are true. He did play Dungeons and Dragons. He did slay many monsters, and he played war games. Not, it's pre-computer. He's put pieces around. Us and our best friend Jack Ryan and this other very handsome man, no names, used to play with him, and so he did do that. Chip also, in a frankly a very, very vain attempt to try to meet my standards, he shaved his head. I think Sally must have watched the movie from The Rock, Bruce Willis, and told Chip and said, "Ooh, it's no little sexy. You just shaved it all off." So that's the type of person my brother stoops to. He's a vain man. It was hard in a family household. There's me, a very handsome, good one. And then my sister, who is younger than both of us, who is a successful realtor in Seattle. And it was me and my sister constantly trying to help the black sheep out. And one of the things that was very disappointing is he lives in Northern California. We grew up in Sacramento, California. There's great sports teams there. What is Chip? What about those first place San Francisco Giants this year? I didn't know. The Giants are doing great. What about the Oakland A's? Second place, very competitive, year in, year out. Yeah, he doesn't know. And anything to do with sports, I had to put up his name, my dad, back, and he didn't. What kind of person is that? That's just wrong. So it's been a real struggle. And I don't know if you know this, but my brother is actually, we're Mexican American. You may not look at our last name as Lee, so it's not hard to tell. Our father obviously is not Hispanic, but my mom, where's the camera? Where's it? I don't know. Okay, Mom, I'm right here. My mom is about the most proud Mexican American you'll ever find. She's the youngest of 9, and her grandparents emigrated from Mexico in 1914 to escape the ravages of the Mexican Revolution. There's the story of Pancho Villa actually going to my grandmother's house, stealing her wedding dress and other things. And they emigrated to the United States. Why? Because like all immigrants, they wanted to make a better life for themselves. And they came to the land of opportunity. And Chip, in all seriousness, jokes aside, is the product, and so are we as our family, of the immigrant success story. Because my grandfather worked in the fields picking tomatoes, and he worked in a cannery. And even though I don't know why he had 9 kids, that's probably why they weren't, they struggled financially. But nonetheless, he wanted a better life. And the stories of my grandfather, he died before we were born, but the stories of that, he was like the first one in line during elections to vote because he was so proud to be an American. And we used to go and experience Mexican culture during Easter. We used to have like piñata out, the candy would be in it, every one of the kids would be fat. And you'd hit the piñata and the candy would fall out, and we would chase after the candy. So we had very strong Mexican cultural roots, of which my mom is very proud. And but Chip, it's tragic. He speaks no Spanish. So Sally speaks Spanish. Kevin speaks Spanish. Jimmy, for the purposes of this, you speak Spanish. So, mi hermano, no habla español y por lo tanto puedo decir lo que quiera. Él no me entendería. So basically what I said in the translation is that it's very fortunate to have a representative like me to stand up here and to support. So anyway, what we did is we begged the Navy to join him, we begged the SWO community to accept him. And yes, he was on the USS the USS Goldsboro. And just to make sure that Chip was on the right track, his very first CO, guess who it was? This guy named Mike Mullen. True fact, Chip's first CO, because Commander Mullen at the time, on the way up, future chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, for anybody that doesn't know, highest rank in the United States military, they needed to make sure that Chip was set on the right motion. So, yeah, he did some things on the ship, and then he went to the Desron, he's got a combat B because some Iraqi scuds went over his ship. We honored him for that. Thank you, Chip. And the SWO community humored him, but then what really happened is they got tired of him. And the SWO community said, Chip, do something else, anything. And that's why I thank the medical community for accepting him. Because the SWO community was tired of him, and so he went to medical school at some school, I can't remember the name. And he became a doctor. And I still remember kind of a serious story here. We were stationed together. My first JAG duty station was his first medical corps duty station here in Norfolk. He was over at Portsmouth. And I had a young son, Katie's brother Ryan, and he had just been born, so he needed a pediatrician. And somebody pulled some strings because the pediatrician that my son was assigned was this guy right here. And I actually went undercover, and I went to the department, and I went to the receptionist, and I said, yeah, I'm kind of worried about my son getting the best medical treatment. I haven't been Dr. Lee, is he good? I'm really worried. And of course, they said, oh, yeah. I was hoping they would say, good luck. Go to the civilian system, do anything, leave. I was hoping they would say that, but they didn't. They worshiped him. They said, oh my gosh, he's the best since sliced bread. I wish every doctor would like him. And then there had to be money passed. That's why he should be separated, because he bribed people to say these things. But he did go on in the medical community. He did serve in Afghanistan. He was the XO, and I want to again thank the SWO community for bringing him back. He actually, one of the things when they changed the uniforms into the green BDUs, the digitals that we wear, I see a few people wearing that, they took away the staff corps insignia, which in all seriousness was really cool for people like my brother and I, because it's not so much we weren't proud of being, in my case, a JAG, and my brother's case, a doctor, but it was the focus of service of why we're here. Why does the medical corps exist? It's because of its mission. And the same thing with the JAG Corps. That was rewarding. I want to put in a few words for my dad, because my mom has a story 25 years ago where she goes to jury duty and she gets asked, what are your kids doing? And she's very proud as the immigrant mom and saying, my oldest is a doctor, and my next son is a lawyer. And then we have our sister, who's now a successful realtor. At the time, she was a school teacher. And she was very proud. She thought, yeah, I'm the immigrant that's done great. And she got surrounded. What are you doing? It's all right. I mean, you did it right. And I told my dad that story. And my dad said, that's great. But actually, I would have had a different answer. And the answer is this. I would have said, my two sons, sorry, Annie, if you're out of this one. My two sons are in the Navy. And it really, so his point, it doesn't matter. Doctor or lawyer, we're in the Navy. We serve something that's beyond us, a greater cause, not just to do practice law or practice medicine. We do it for a reason. And that's my dad. My dad was the greatest man, I know. And he was a public educator for 40 years. So he also served his community. And then he retired, and then he did 25 years of giving food to poor people. He started a food locker at his parish, And it's to this day the best food locker in Sacramento because of my dad. That's the type of guy that he was. Very service oriented. It actually makes it makes sense that we would go into the Navy. No offense against my civilian legal counterparts. Chip, you're about to join the civilian medical community. I'm sure they're awesome. But what's the mission? And we've known our mission here in the Navy. We all should be proud of what we do because it's not so much, we each have a role and it's that team. And so I like those BDUs because it goes back to what is our purpose? Our purpose is to serve the line community. And so it's a really cool thing to finish your career having to wear that uniform. Anyway, I started funny, now I'm serious. But I guess that's, well, 10 minutes. You gave me 50 minutes, right? I'll conclude. I think I had another very witty remarks, but I think I said my fill. It's been truly incredible to have, honestly, I'm choking up, to have you as a have you as my best friend. What a great role model to have. Because I can make fun of them, and this is the relationship that we have. We're gonna go home tonight, we're just gonna play Jack-O-Lantern, and we're just gonna totally have a blast. Because that's what we do. The seriousness of the closeness of our family. It's been a lot. Damn it, but 30 years, 35 years, it's the last track. However many years you've served, we're very proud of you, and Mom is proud of you. I gotta say, my Mom, do you hear this? I love Chip. I've been kidding all the other jokes. So anyway, it's been awesome to have you as a brother, and we're so proud of you. He's actually the white sheep of the family. Me and my sister are the black sheep, as you can probably tell. And you have led us, and you have led our family. So congratulations on a career well done. It's been awesome.
Thank you so much, Commander Lee. Rear Admiral McLean and Captain Lee, please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, Rear Admiral Brendan McLean, Commander, Naval Surface Force Atlantic, will present Captain Lee his award. Attention to award. The President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Legion of Merit, Gold Star in lieu of second award, to Captain Rees L. Lee II, Medical Corps, United States Navy, for service as set forth in the following citation. For exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding service as Force Surgeon on the staff of Commander, Naval Surface Force Atlantic, from August 2018 to August 2021. Under Captain Lee's steadfast leadership, the Atlantic Surface Force achieved the highest levels of medical combat readiness. He led 73 medical service corps, nursing, and dental corps officers, and 200 hospital corpsmen aboard 77 ships, 4 fleet surgical teams, and 4 medical readiness divisions in Norfolk, Mayport, Rhoda, and Bahrain, providing consistent, reliable medical care to over 27,000 sailors. He developed and executed a highly effective, comprehensive coronavirus mitigation strategy, ensuring sufficient personnel protective equipment supplies were delivered to all ships. He also established essential isolation and quarantine procedures and developed testing protocols minimizing impact of the coronavirus. His unrelenting advocacy on the deck plate accelerated shipboard vaccine delivery and enabled a 78% vaccination rate. His efforts enabled the overseas deployment of 30 coronavirus-free combat ships to provide U.S. maritime presence in support of mission tasking. This superb tour of duty culminated a distinguished career of 34 years of loyal and faithful service to his country. By his superior leadership, commendable innovation, and inspiring dedication to duty, Captain Lee reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the high traditions of the United States Naval Service. For the President, D.M. Creedy, Vice Admiral, United States Navy, Deputy Commander, U.S. Fleet Forces Command. Will the guests please be seated? Rear Admiral McLean will now present Captain Lee's retirement certificate. Sorry, sir. Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that Captain Rees Livingston Lee II, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Navy on the first day of October 2021. Signed, J.B. Noel, Vice Admiral, United States Navy, Chief of Naval Personnel. Will Sally, Jimmy, and Kevin please rise for presentation of awards? You may come forward. Sally, Jimmy, and Kevin. By the authority vested in me, it is my pleasure to express the grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for enduring the frequent and long separation from your husband and father as he served his country. The time that he spent away from you is a clear and noble demonstration of his love for you and your family. You see, he left you to ensure that you inherited a safer world and a surer peace. To those who say a single person cannot make a difference, I say wrong. Your husband and father did. He made our Navy stronger and kept our nation safe. With his service to the nation now complete, he will be able to spend more time with his family in the future. The United States Navy thanks both you and your husband and father for enduring these separations. Given this first day of October 2021, B. R. McLean, Rear Admiral, United States Navy, Commander, Naval Surface Force, Atlanta. Will all take their seats except Captain Lee. Chief Beach. Chief John Beach will now present Captain Lee's retirement shadow box. According to some accounts of naval history and tradition, when a sailor retires and is departing the ship for the last time, it's considered bad luck for the sailor's shadow to touch land before he does. Thus, the sailor's shipmates would construct a sturdy box, handcrafted of the finest materials, in which to display mementos of the sailor's accomplishments, thereby symbolically creating a shadow. The box contains the sailor's shadow until he is safely ashore. Ideally, a shadow box serves not only as a reminder of achievements and accomplishments, but also as a summation, a culmination of a career. A shadow box should enable a stranger glancing at its contents to gain a substantial understanding of the owner's past service and achievements. Thank you, Captain Lee. Captain Lee will now be presented with the United States flag. As the flag is passed, The members of the detail will face to display the ranks in which Captain Lee has served, from line ensign to medical corps captain. The reverent salute is rendered to honor those who gave their last full measure in defense of our country. Flag detail, post.
Detail, attention. Forward, march. Left, right. Left, right, left. Left, right. Left, right, left. Left, 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 right. Left, 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 right. Ready, halt.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest building. I stand watching America's laws of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of government. I stand guard the greatest military power in the world. Look up, see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident, I am arrogant, and I am proud. I am flown with my fellow banners. My head is held high. My colors hold true. I bow to none. I am recognized all over. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am respected. I am revered. I am loved. And I am feared. I have fought every battle, every war, more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, Sandbar Hill, the trenches of France, York Mountain Forest, Antietam, Rome, beaches of Normandy, Omaha, Okinawa, Tarawa, Vietnam, Persian Gulf, and scores of places that I've forgotten by all, except by those who were there with me. I was there. I led my sailors and marines. I followed. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill on Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired. My sailors and marines cheered me, and I was proud. I was at Ground Zero in New York City on September 11th when those cowardly fanatics attacked America. I was raised from the ashes of once proud buildings by brave firefighters, heroes who risked their lives to save others, showing all that America, although bloody, will never be dead. Those who would destroy me cannot win. I am the symbol of freedom, one nation, under God, indivisible, justice for all. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country. When it is by those whom I have served with in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome. For I am strong. I have slipped the surly bottoms of earth. From my vantage point on the moon, I stand watch over the uncharted new frontiers of space. I've been a silent witness to all of America's finest hours. My finest hour comes when I am torn in strips, a useless bandage to my wounded comrades on the battlefield. When I fly half-mast to honor my soldiers, my sailors, my marines, my airmen. When I lie in trembling hands, a grieving mother, a grave site, a fallen son or daughter, I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I live, dear God. Long may I live.
Detail, right, face. Head, slow. Ready, two. Detail, left, face.
Flag detail, post.
Forward, march. Left, right. Left, right, left. Left,
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present Captain Rees L. Lee, Medical Corps, United States Navy.
What a special day. People hear me? Thank you for being here. Glasses on, so I can't see anything. It's one of those retirements on that. Hopefully the VA can help me out. Plane, Admiral Stocks, Joyce, what a great pleasure. Thank you for coming here. Commodores, commanding officers, fellow fleet and force surgeons, master chiefs, distinguished guests, shipmates. Also, remotely, we have my mother, Sister Annie. We also have my parents-in-law, Paul and Barbara Schnurr. Vice Admiral Mustin, Rear Admiral Putnam. Rear Admiral Putnam was the Commodore for Commodore 25, captain at the time, but should be in Arizona actually listening in. So thank you, sir, for being here. And of course, my family, Sally, what a special day. Jimmy, Kevin, Kiki, Katie, thank you for being here, honoring us. First of all, I do want Officer Sir to point out just the egregiousness and frank fabrication, I think, that you witnessed in my brother. You know, I asked for proper pre-retirement discovery procedures to be followed. And in that, you're supposed to get a copy of the remarks. They were not followed as a result. I think it's the basis for the appeal. Jack team, let's meet afterwards. We need to get the appeal to Admiral Vi as soon as possible. But until that time, I asked that you counsel, instruct, no less, the distinguished guests that they are to ignore my brother's comments, particularly the embarrassing ones, and they be stricken from the record. So, or is it just get rid of it on the streaming if you could. So anyway, there, Dave, thanks for the Lisa and yeah, was beginning. Thank you so much, Fleet Forces Band. What a pleasure! You guys are awesome. Naval Medical Center, Portsmouth, Color Guard, fantastic, and really important to me because again, Portsmouth was my base hospital that I spent most of my time. Other people, you know, these ceremonies take a lot of effort, and they honor me, they honor Sally with just the amount of effort you put into them. So thank you, Commander Levinson, for organizing this. He's our force nurse, and Chief Mabry. Where's Chief Mabry? Is she? There you are. Thank you, Chief, for everything you do. To Gather Baton is our director of streaming services, and she's destined for, I guess, Hollywood afterwards. I want to give a special recognition. Why do we have two flag officers on the behind me? And I can tell you at the reception how that occurred, but I'm glad it occurred because I'm so happy to have representatives from the two communities that really have made our career so special. Started with surface warfare and then became a medical officer, and then have now a chance to serve surface warfare as a medical officer. But having both Admiral Vi and Admiral McLean here together is so special to me. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here. So my son, Kevin, he's the one in black. He took his first vows as a Jesuit 2 days ago. And this is a long process, 7 years, 9 years, sometimes some people, what, 48 years, is that what, no, but anyway, but he takes a vow. They got me to thinking, what are vows? What are oaths? And we took an oath too. An oath to protect and defend the Constitution. I took my first oath in December 1986. And it got me to thinking about the meaning of that. The meaning of an oath is not just a promise. It's not just a contract. I do this, I do that. It's an entering into really a familial relationship. You enter into an organization. It's an acceptance by the organization that you are now part of the family, and that we will, as a group, come around, put our arms around you, and together accomplish great things. But it is much more than a contract. It really is a religious term, a covenant that we all participate in. And so it got me thinking about the Navy family and the strength of the Navy family. And so I wanted just to kind of review for you a few snippets of Sally and my career in our view of the Navy family. First of all, a disclaimer. Every one of you have helped and been part of my career and Sally's career in the Navy. Every single one of you here online and those in spirit have been part of our career. So I won't be able to mention even a small number of all of the people here, but just rest assured that you are just so valued by Sally, and you've made such a difference in our lives. So thank you for being here. You honor us for being here. Thank you for just being part of our lives. Like I said, I did want to mention just a few stories. And sailors love telling sea stories, and unfortunately, Commander Hudson and a lot of others have had to deal with my sea stories. So now it's your turn to suffer. So, what do families do? Well, one thing families do is they mentor. They mentor their people. So, and I was thinking, where did I learn to mentor? What role models? And something that stuck in my mind was my second CO. As David said, my first CO ended up being the Joint Chiefs of Staff, but my second CO was Commander Khan, Mel Khan, and I deployed with him on my first deployment. And so we're out in the Indian Ocean, and we're on lifeboat. Now he's officer deck, and the CO is down in his cabin, and the ships had started to break away. So there's two ships that are unwrapping or getting fuel in front of me, and they start breaking away. They're the last unwrap of the day, and so it's twilight. Things are getting dark. I called down the CO and said, we are now having a new station, so many thousands of yards off of Carl Vinson, which was the carrier. And we had to get there, we had to go all the way across the river. And he said, "Roger that, Mr. Lee, make it so." And at that moment, I realized he trusted me. He was not coming to the bridge. He trusted Ensign Lee to basically take his ship and his people and safely get them on the other side of the battle group, and do some close order maneuvering just as you break away with these three ships that are relative. We do that every day. The Navy does that every day. There's junior officers driving ships every single day. But you know what? The fact that he trusted me to do it. Now, my guess is he was probably in CIC watching, or he was one deck below watching to make sure. But I felt such a level of empowerment when, during that episode. And what I hope is that as I mentor some of the people here, that you felt empowered, that hopefully I didn't interfere with your mission, but gave you some guidance, which was helpful. But it kind of made me realize that sometimes we need to step away and let people shine. Hopefully I've allowed you to shine. You can tell me in the afterwards in the reception, I'm no longer writing fit reps, I'm no longer writing evals, so now you can just tell me the truth. Another Goldsboro story I just wanted to say that families teach humility. So I was communications officer on CIC watch, and as you can tell, my brother is the litigator. I stumble over my words. So I'm on the radio stumbling over my words, and finally I get frustrated with myself. I just yell an expletive and throw the radio set down. Of course, this goes over the batters, you know. Over the radio waves. So I get off watch. And then about an hour later, Chief Harkness, Radioman Chief Harkness, back when they had radios, Radioman Chief Harkness shows up. He's carrying a pink piece of paper. Now, if you know, at the time, personal force or direct communication from the battle group commander to the COs. The subject line was radio etiquette. Oops, radio etiquette. And the importance of radio etiquette in that foul language is not appropriate to be used on U.S. Navy circuits, and that the offending officer, the commanding officer of the defending ship should take appropriate action. So I walk up to the CO's cabin. It seemed there's only like 3 or 4 decks up, you know, of ladders. It seemed like 100. Chief Harkness is behind me. And he allows me to get to the captain's cabin, all the way to captain's cabin. And he turns to me as I'm about to knock on the door. He says, "Sir, it's a joke." I have learned the power of the chief. You know, they can make an officer believe anything. And the other thing is they say that the people you kid are the people you love. So I felt very loved on that day. But I did burn stuff. So I think love is the glue that holds the Navy family together. It may not be this kissy love, but it's the commitment to each other that we always have our back, and that love binds us together. And you look at what have we done with the love that's within the Navy family this year. I mean, Admiral Vi already mentioned some. I mean, the COVID pandemic. Wow. Surfland and the Navy medicine team were just tremendous over the last years. When this all started, I mean, right now the CDC kind of sending out clear guidance. Back when this started, there was no guidance. How often, Commander Gentry and I were creating some of the guidance, and together with like Jamie Hodges down in Newport and Commander Hudson, you were off on Comfort doing great things in New York. Well, we really came together. I thank every single one of you that in those early days setting the policies, which is not easy. And then, a lot of those policies became the standard. They were incorporated into the larger. So amazing work. And then later on, when the vaccines came, we had to vaccinate, and we had to vaccinate quickly. And really that was a testament to fleet surgical teams, and particularly Commander Levinson, our force nurse, basically, again, leaning forward. I mean, I think the Ike is at the pier, and at the time, the Ike strike group needed to be vaccinated quickly, without breaking their bubble, nor without interfering with their training, the last minute training exercises. They achieved that. They went to the deck plate. And we think about vaccinating 5,000 people in just a few days, twice. Remember, 2 shots. I just salute you. And I thank you. And I think it's a testament to that Navy family and what the Navy family can do. Some other examples, I won't keep you too long, but mental health, embedded mental health. I mean, recognizing our sailors that are in pain and may need some assistance. We've really pushed that to the waterfront, but that has not been easy. And that's been a joint effort that I salute all of you for doing. And in particular, I want to just point out the importance of our, really the people that write contracts, that provide supplies, our comptroller. When you think about the people behind the scenes that make things happen, it is, you are doing amazing things. But much like my brother David said, when he was serious at the very end, it's the importance of everyone getting that single mission. In this case, providing that mental health care, which incorporates into our toughness and our resiliency programs. And Kevin, the chaplains, are partial to that, and needs help. So I know there's openings on the ship, so coordination, but the tremendous thing. And I would be remiss, one last example, because I know I have some friends from Namur Dayton who are listening in. At the time, there was physiologic events where these issues were high performance aircraft. Our pilots were getting dizzy for unknown reasons, showing other symptoms. Was it pressure? Was it toxins? Was it oxygen problems? And they rapidly responded to that. Again, the Navy family coming together. And I really thank particular leaders like Rick Arnold, Karen Numi, who are the senior scientists up at Namur Dayton. Tremendous work. We basically doubled our budget. And anyone who does research, it's hard to get people to cough up money for research. You have to have a very clear and concise research plan, even when you're trying to move fast. And they did it. They did it. They expanded the lab, and they are actually discovering and helping the Navy and NAVAIR improve our aircraft, also the Air Force. And speaking of research, I just want to recognize for me my passion for research and people that have really helped me to do some of the research. I won't worry with the details. People like Todd Downen and Harry Fisher, Brian Feldman helped out a lot. You know, Brian, and then Tina Harder and Peng-Shing Wu from Vanderbilt University. But I know they may be listening in, and I really appreciate what you guys have done to do that. I'm almost near the end. Families, the Navy family supports each other. There's some really important people that have supported me, because it would be very easy for me to have been pigeonholed as a pulmonologist, pediatric pulmonologist, and have missed patients. But what is really nice about the Navy is it allows us to expand and serve the fleet, like my brother said, in many different capacities, executive medicine being one of them. But to do that, we need people for the patients. But people have kept them straight and narrow. Ruthie Simpson, Deb Melvin, I see Deb, you're here. Thank you for being here. Jeff Cleary, Lori Vanscoy, and currently Marcia Fry. She's my colleague who has really allowed me to do what I do. Other people that have helped me, Carrie, you've been tremendous, and thank you for your help. And as I transition in my retirement to covering this for surgeon, she has done a fantastic job during the few months where I was off at Portsmouth trying to regain my skills. And thank you for helping me getting us ready for the Delta spike that is now 2 minutes. Finally, the most important person supporting me has been Sacks. Thank you, honey, for being with me 34 years, pretty much the entire time. Bupers could have easily put her name on the orders. The orders were to both of us. The admiral just didn't know that. Both of us. During this period, she's brought up 2 Eagle Scouts. Both my sons were Eagle Scouts, not from my doing, but Sally was instrumental and fully engaged with the Boy Scouts. She got her wood badge, so she is a true leader in the Boy Scouts. She deployed 4 times with me, and to tell you the truth, she was my sustenance, sustained me through 4 deployments. For 2 of them, we wrote letters, and I really liked that. Mail call meant something. If you, I'm sure the admins know this, it ended up getting these letters out of sequence. So letter 34 would come before letter 25. The nice thing about it, sometimes you would find out that the refrigerator was fixed. But there were some humorous points of that. Thank you, honey. One would be 4 times. But Sally was a leader, is a leader, and supported the Navy in her own way. She was president of the Oakley Club. She was in the Skylarks, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base Officer Spouse Club. She rose up to vice president, and would have been president of the club, I was told, had she stayed 1 more year, which is the reason that I'm not still at Wright-Patterson, because I asked to extend at Wright-Patterson 1 more year. And I'm still convinced that the chief of staff of the Air Force intervened because he didn't want the largest Air Force base in his arsenal, the Officer Spouse Club, run by a Navy spouse. Anyway, tremendous thing. And what I will say is, I got one more thing to say, but as I'm saying it, Jimmy, Brad, flowers, and present. The last thing I will say is that she's been an integral member of the community art and watercolor in particular. And I will say that her Watercolor Society is putting on, this is my blatant advertisement, 25 September to 30 October, Sally, as a wash and color at Gallery 21 on 21st Street in Norfolk. Please go see it, because knowing that there's a Navy spouse that's putting that on. Thank you, honey, for everything that you've done in our wonderful experience. And again, it's been a joint effort. Anyway, enough with these stories. I can turn the Navy over to younger people, but thank you all for coming. And Commander Hudson, I think I'm ready to read my orders.
Attention to orders.
My orders. Sorry. Oh, here it is. Okay, there you go, right here. Yeah. From Commander, Naval Personnel Command to Captain Rees L. Lee, Medical Corps, United States Navy. Subject: Bupers Order 0751. In view of your scheduled retirement to be effective 01 October 2021, on 01 October 2021, you will be transferred to the retired list with the grade of captain and with the retired pay of captain pursuant to provisions of 10 U.S.C. Section 634. Proceed to home of selection. Regard relief of all active duty effective at 2400 on the date of detachment.
Will the guests please be seated? Naval watches are marked by the ringing of the bell. As each hour passes, the time orderly strikes bells to mark each half hour that passes with 1 bell until 8 bells are struck and the watch is relieved. The call, boatswain, stand by to pipe the side, has been passed on naval ships from the 1500s throughout today. Spanish, French, English, Dutch. Yes, all navies of the world use the boatswain side boys and call to bring aboard or send ashore all ships' company officers, visiting officers, dignitaries, and VIPs. The side boys would haul on the ropes and raise or lower the boarding platform. This honor was extended to visiting officers, dignitaries, and port officials. It was not uncommon for the commanding officer of a ship to order up the jolly boat, a crew of 8 strong backs, side boys, and boatswain, to send an old shipmate to his shore retirement home, never to sail on naval ships again. All hands on deck was passed. Speeches were made about great victories, battles fought upon the open sea, raging storms weathered, and voyages to distant and strange lands, with port of calls others only dreamed about. It was to honor the years served, the guidance, the leadership, and the friendship, and the expertise that this shipmate has freely given these almost 35 years. In today's ceremony, you will witness our Navy's modern interpretations of these traditions as we send our shipmate ashore. Master Chief Frank Vaccarelli, will you now read the watch?
Who comes here? A sailor that stood the watch. For 35 years, this sailor stood the watch. While some of us were at racks at night, this shipmate stood the watch. While some of us were in our schools learning our trade, this sailor stood the watch. Yes, even before some of you were born into this world, this shipmate stood the watch. In those years when the storm clouds of war were seen brewing on the horizon of history, this sailor stood the watch. Many times, he would cast an eye ashore to see his family standing there, needing his guidance and help, needing his hand to hold in those tough and challenging times. Yet, this sailor, your husband, your father, stood the watch. He stood the watch for 35 years. He stood the watch so that we, our families, and our fellow countrymen can sleep soundly and safety each and every night, knowing that a warrior, a sailor, stood the watch. Now we are here to say, shipmate, the watch stands relieved. Relieved by those that you have trained, guided, and led. Captain Lee, front and center. Shipmate, you stand relieved. We have the watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Captain Lee will now give the benediction.
So let us pray. Good and gracious God, we ask that you bless Captain Lee as he prepares to embark on his new voyage. Grant him the grace to know your love and your delight in him. bring them in everlasting life. Pray, we ask this, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Bosun, stand by to pipe the side. Shipmate going ashore. Aye, aye, ma'am.
Right. Face. One step forward. March. Right. Face. Over. March. Right, left, face. Commander Hudson, I have permission to go ashore.
Aye, aye, sir.
Actually, I don't. I just want to stay longer. That won't cut me short. President, Commander Hudson, I now have permission to go ashore.
Aye, aye, sir. Sound 4 bells. Captain, United States Navy, retired, and family departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this now concludes the retirement ceremony. On behalf of Captain Lee, his family, and the entire command, I would like to thank you for attending. Please join Captain Lee and his family for refreshments.